Greetings, fellow men. Servus Männer. It's Red Pill Germany again, and today I want to talk about Beerfests and Oktoberfests in Japan. My last video had something to do with the Oktoberfest in Munich, Germany, and I have recently been to Japan, and it was just also Oktoberfest season there. And I noticed, and also while I was living there, that Oktoberfest, beer fests, and also beer tasting and craft beer is really a thing now in Japan. It is really exploding, this beer culture there. So there are many great breweries in Japan, older ones, big ones, but now there are also many small breweries who make amazing craft beer, very flavorful, rich, unique beer. And every weekend you can go to some kind of beer fest where the local breweries present their produce. So later I want to show you a video that I shot at a Japanese Oktoberfest, and I found that was pretty awesome. I mean, I didn't have the reflex to yell, "Cultural appropriation, you're not German, you have no right to do that." No, I thought it was pretty awesome. I mean, I know that some other cultures who have not so much to show for, they would yell, "You cannot have this hairstyle, you cannot listen to this music, you cannot wear these clothes because you're not one of us." But I think it's pretty awesome that Japanese society, they incorporate these things that they see elsewhere, and they look what works for them and they incorporate it in a very organic, very peaceful way, and I think that's pretty awesome. So Japanese people really like these beer fests lately, and they have a lot of German culture clubs and associations that would actually organize trips to Germany and also invite German groups to them in Japan, and it includes the German clothes, the traditional clothing, Trachten, and also traditional German music. So these Japanese guys, they would actually learn how to play these instruments, how to sing our songs, and they have then little music bands, music groups that would dress in a German way and play our old songs from way back when. And they, of course, get booked for these beer fests then, and that is the season then in autumn, I think, when they have their gigs, and they do a pretty amazing job, I think. It looks very authentic. Of course, I mean, I don't expect anything less from Japanese person than to actually do an excellent job at realizing these forms of cultural practices. Maybe because of cosplay, they're very good at dressing up accurately with love for the little details. But I think that it goes beyond that. I think that they really love this controlled access of the German beer fest. And I will go into a little bit of more detail afterwards. But now I want to show you the clip of the beer fest. And I was really, really happy to be. So as you could hear, I was singing along with all those Japanese guys who probably came out of the office after a hard week at work. As I said before, I think it's this controlled access that they really like, and our cultures are very similar in this way. We are both very industrious, very hardworking, very intelligent. If you wanted to build a society that produces a lot, You need the ability for delayed gratification, of course. Now, what postmodern people often don't get right, delayed gratification does not mean no gratification. You cannot delay it forever. So you need seasons throughout the year, like Carnival, for example, or like Oktoberfest or wine festivals, where you have controlled, ritualized excess or party, actually. And postmodern people, they don't really know that, and they just work and work and work, and now we call that burnout or something. But people back then were very industrious, very productive, but they celebrated these festivals in order to get it out of their system. This was their delayed gratification that made us functional and productive throughout the rest of the year. And this is why Japanese people instinctively embrace Beerfest. This is the reason why they love it so much, because it fits like a hand in a glove. It just fits. It is completely compatible with their culture because they are also hardworking. And maybe the thing that was missing in their culture was this controlled, ritualized excess. I mean, they have their own festivals, and they are nice and awesome, beautiful festivals, but they're just not really like the beer fest where you get drunk and where for a certain time of the year you are allowed to do stuff that you are normally not allowed to do, because the drinking with your work buddies, which used to fulfill that function in Japan, it's just not fun, and young people don't like that. They don't want to drink in suits next to their boss and stuff. Maybe they go there with their company to the beer fest also, but you can go there with friends too, and it's just not like a work event then. And maybe that is better for them than going to an izakaya with their whole department, and it just feels like basically a continued work meeting, more or less. You know, instead of a work lunch, you go drinking with people from work after hours. And I didn't like it, and most Japanese people I talk to also don't like that. But they love the beer fest, and it could just be the thing that was missing to their culture, you know, to create this pressure valve where you can actually release all the pressure that was building up during the year. This is how we use these events in Germany. This is a pressure valve function that these festivals have, and it enables us to be productive and kind of sacrificing throughout the rest of the year. So as I said before, delayed gratification doesn't mean no gratification, and you cannot delay it forever. At some point you need to party, right? And this is what Beerfest is all about. Now, having said that, Japanese society and German society or culture are not compatible. They do not mix. They are like oil and water. While we are very similar, almost identical in some aspects, there are some deal breaker differences in our culture. For example, the directness of our speech. Germans are to the point, and Japanese people are the opposite. You know, they're very vague and indirect. You need to get to know them before you can do business. We trust people maybe a little faster, and we're more direct. So there are a lot of deal breakers. Japanese society and German society, they don't mix. Individuals can go to the other culture and live well there, but you couldn't take 2 million Japanese people and put them in Germany and it wouldn't work. And it also the other way around, it wouldn't work. But you know, Japanese and German society, I think they have a healthy understanding and a healthy respect for each other, and we can be friends from afar. We could not live together, but we can admire each other from a distance. And in some aspects, we're really similar. In others, we're exact polar opposites. And this is just why I think that incorporating bits and pieces here and there, it can be a good thing. So it is really just like the automobile. The Germans invented it, and among others, Japanese people perfected it. So in that sense, don't forget about gratification. Don't delay it forever, even though you are a hardworking, industrious, sacrificing individual, you know. You need some party, and that could be carnival, that could be a beer fest, or that could be anything else, whatever you like. But it is something to bear in mind, you know. Don't end up like one of those managers who always works and then he collapses at 42 and needs to go for 5 years into a monastery before he can talk to another person again. So yeah, this is a bad example of delaying gratification forever. I enjoyed this beer fest, and maybe you can go to one too in the future. So have a great day, and catch you guys again later. Servus, Kameraden.